All right, for more on this, let's welcome into the show Luis Miguel, Echegaray. All right, let's break down this Messi thing. Let's look forward, right? Because there's so many competitions. We now know the Leagues Cup knockout game is going to be next Wednesday. We got the Open Cup semifinal August 23rd. We got the start of MLS regular season on August 20th. How do you think Inter Miami is going to manage Messi's minutes as we move through all this?
It's a good question, Salazar, because obviously I'm looking at the schedule, and my biggest priority right now, if I'm an Inter Miami fan, is how is Tata Martino going to balance this crazy August, as you just mentioned? Okay, they won against Cruz Azul. He played a second half in that segment. He won against a very flat, very bad Atlanta United, let's just say it, right? And then from now on, if they continue to develop in the Leagues Cup, then those minutes Tata Martino has to balance. Then let's not forget about the fact that MLS comes back on August 20th. The final of the Leagues Cup is August 19th. Then you also have a US Open Cup semifinal against, by the way, a very good team in Cincinnati. So now you have this schedule where Tata Martino has to say to himself, how do I make sure that my superstar, my absolute key, right, not only delivers, but he's healthy? Because guess what? At the end of that Atlanta United game, he put his hand up and he said, hey, Tata, time to sub me out because I'm not ready yet. I just came back from vacation. I just had a good time with Antonella and the kids on the beach. I need to take some time off, right? And that's exactly what happened. So to me, Sebi and Kasey Keller, I'm looking at this August time and how Tata is going to balance this massive schedule. If he handles that, and by the way, Sergio Busquets, because he's no spring chicken, if he handles that, then we can see what happens. But August is a massive month in order to see what Inter Miami does with that calendar.
Kasey, give me your perspective here from Inter Miami's side of things. What do you think is the priority? Is it MLS regular season? Is it the Open Cup? Is it, Leagues Cup doesn't really interfere with those, but where would you be putting your Messi minutes right now, Kasey, if you could allocate them?
You think that Open Cup is semifinal final, right?
Yep.
So
August 23rd semifinal, and the final would be, I think, like September 27th.
So I think right now, because August 23rd is around the corner, and that's your best chance to win your first trophy.
And a ticket into the CONCACAF Champions League?
I think that has to be the number one priority right now. And then obviously, then I think it's the other cup competition, and then it's the league, because I think they are so far behind in the league.
Right.
It's going to be one of the most miraculous comebacks of all time. We talked about it earlier. So if you can keep that buzz going by giving your fans something to celebrate, go to a cup final, maybe even host a cup final. I mean, you know how the Open Cup works. It's a little interesting sometimes on who gets to host and who doesn't. But yeah, I mean, I think I would love to see Messi in an Open Cup final, Leagues Cup final, and then look, there's nobody is going to say anything if they don't make the playoffs. I mean, because he's here for 12 games. It's not like it's, okay, here, we expect you to come in, win 9 of these, draw 3, and maybe squeak in as the last seed. So, yeah, I would truly focus on the cup. But then at the same time, I think we have to understand, I mean, and the point was made, this is preseason for him.
Yep.
You can't then say, let's capitalize on this buzz, and every team that wants him to be a part of it, and play him, have him pull something, and then miss him for some really important things. So I think it's going to be really important for Tata to understand. He knows that. I mean, he's been around the block. Messi's also, and Busquets and Jordi Alba, and the ghost of Luis Suarez. I mean, if they have to come in and manage that, they're all veterans who can tell a veteran coach, I think I need to back off here a little bit.
Yeah, worth noting in all this, there's also an international break, Luis Miguel. I mean, no chance Lionel Messi is going to miss his time with Argentina. That's obviously going to play a factor.
100%. The beginning of September, then you have Scaloni saying, hey, by the way, Leo, I need you for World Cup qualifiers. And that's going to be another massive need. And by the way, who knows how he will get once he returns. Look, the point has been made, right? How good are the minutes going to be used when it comes to Lionel Messi? But at the same time, Messi himself, at 36 years old, has to say to himself, what can I do? What can I give? Because also Kasey made a point earlier on about the traveling. Okay, it's been 2 great wins at home and maybe the next games against Orlando City, a Florida derby. But what happens when he has to go across the country? By the way, they have to play LAFC just before the international break as well. So there's so much to do here. But hey, Inter Miami fans aren't complaining. They have Leo Messi, for Christ's sake. And by the way, I mentioned to you last week, Sebi, Jordi Alba is a massive factor in this, and it's only going to make them better. DeAndre Yedlin said something really great last week, and he said, listen, Messi has lifted everybody's spirits up. Calendar is a good goalkeeper. He's playing out of his mind right now. This is a very good team, but yes, context is needed. I want to see what they do against the likes of Cincinnati or LAFC or tougher opponents from the Mexican side, and then we'll see. But the minutes are key for Leo Messi and how Tata Martino uses them.
Speaking of minutes, there were still some minutes left in the game when the Inter Miami fans, or maybe I shouldn't say Inter Miami, maybe I should say Lionel Messi fans, started pouring out of the stadium there in Fort Lauderdale. Of course, we sped this up a little bit for effect, because that's how we roll here on Futbol Americas. Luis Miguel, you know that part of the world very well. You were down there. You know the fans. Are you cool with this, or do you have a problem with it?
I'm cool with it, man. Everybody needs to chill out here. Let me give you some context, all right? Inter Miami were already winning 4-0 in this game on a late Tuesday night. There were just over 12 minutes left. By the way, getting out of DRV Pink Stadium is not an easy feat. It's really annoying, right? So it's a Tuesday night. It's late in the game. They're winning 4-0. Messi leaves. Okay, so a few people leave. Okay, more than a few. And yes, obviously with that timeline, it makes it even worse. I get it, Inter Miami fans. I get it, hardcore purists. You don't like seeing this, but it's 4-0. I think it's a different story if the game was 1-1. It's an intense back and forth, and for some inexplicable reason, Messi has to leave the pitch, and then suddenly everybody leaves. That is when I say, okay, what are you doing? The game is still going. But it was 4-0 Tuesday night. Getting out of there for Fort Lauderdale is an absolute hellhole. So I'm cool with it, man. I'm not as annoyed about it as other people are.
Kasey, you got any problem with it? What about the guys on the field? You've been a player. Wouldn't that insult you?
No, I think in some ways it's pride, because you know you're 4-0 up. You know, I mean, and yeah, I agree for sure. If it was 1-1 and you're battling for a result, yeah, I mean, there's no question that would be annoying. But at 4-0 up, yeah, that's, you know, we talked about away games the other day. Yeah. Right? When you go 4-0 up and the home fans pile out on the road, that is a big sense of pride. So at least when you're home, that's also nice. When you're 4-0 up and you know your fans are going home early, it's not because they're upset at you. They're just like, hey, we know we're going to win. We're excited. We can beat the traffic a little bit.
And look, that's what's going to happen, not just in Fort Lauderdale.
There, I think, Sammy.
Yep. It's going to happen not just in Fort Lauderdale. That's going to happen all over the United States. When Messi goes off the field,
it will at the beginning. It will at the beginning. And then I think when people who have bought the odd ticket just to see Messi, I think then they'll start. That will calm down a little bit.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.